all about Sasha and her sensory processing disorder and what she really dislikes. If you're new to our channel, Sasha, my daughter, has special needs, and that includes sensory processing disorder. It's something that she was diagnosed when she was about 7 years old. I had said to school, you know, I really thought she had this, and they basically brushed me off at meetings I had, IEP meetings that had mentioned it, and they basically told me, due to Sasha's other disabilities and special needs, that she was always going to be developmentally delayed and to brush it off, and this is what was going on. So I actually hired an outside OT to come to our house, and our first visit, she goes, oh, I can tell she has sensory processing disorder. Let's start to really get to know each other. And she broke down Sasha and gave me some great tips and tricks, and, you know, basically got school to properly diagnose her and start working with it. So today is just going to be a couple of things that Sasha really dislikes with her sensory processing disorder. If you have a child with sensory processing disorder, you will know that some days are really great with it and some days are really bad. Certain things trigger it, and certain things that, you know, they can tolerate one day and maybe not the next. So let's talk cold things and sensory. Sasha despises anything cold. I think that is still why, to this day, that she won't try any really sweet treats that are cold. She despises popsicles. She despises, like, ice cream in general. Even the funny thing is, if it's a really hot day, most people be like, oh, I want a really cold beverage, or I would like ice in my beverage to make it colder. Sasha chooses to like things always at like a very room temperature kind of temperature, and it's very much due to her sensory to cold items. Yes, dog fur or animal fur of any type was a huge sensory barrier for Sasha to break. When we first moved into our house and we got our dogs, then we got our cats, Sasha would not go and touch any of them at any point in time. It was like, if you saw the look on her face, she acted like, you know, somebody was torturing her. And it didn't have to be wet fur, it just had to be plain cat or dog fur, whatever animal she was touching. And she used to sit there and look at the dogs near her, but she would never go and touch them with her sensory. So that's a huge barrier that we've broken. But yet, if we go outside of our house, most of the time, sometimes she will go and touch an animal, but most of the time, if she doesn't know the animal, she'll look at it and she'll talk to it, but she won't actually pet it if it has fur due to her sensory. Yes, Band-Aids are a huge sensory no-no for Sasha. And Sasha had surgery a while back on her legs, and this was a hard challenge for us to go through. She had steri strips, she had Band-Aids, she had a lot of wound care that required tape and bandages and all sorts of things like that. It was really hard for her. She sees a box of Band-Aids and still with her sensory, she cringes. She goes to the doctor's office and she looks up all the pieces of tape and all the Band-Aids on the counter, and it's like the red zone for her. And if we ever do have an accident at home, usually I try to put gauze on it with a little bit of really soft tape around the edge, opposed to a Band-Aid, because sensory is really hard for her with Band-Aids. So how do you feel about those strings on the inside of the socks?
I don't like strings.
You don't like strings? Why not?
Because every time you put strings in, they hurt me.
The strings hurt your feet? Do you think we can... Socks are huge still to this day for Sasha with her sensory. The problem is strings inside the socks. I am that crazy type of mom that will go to Walmart, Target, or wherever we are out shopping, and she sees a pair of socks that she likes, but I kind of flip them on the inside out and I show her that they're strings, and she cringes and she tells me to put them back. So rarely can we find socks, unless they're seamless or orthotic socks that are soft stretch and don't have strings on the inside, can we still wear socks. The ones that I actually pictured are AFO seamless stretch socks, and they get really pricey. I mean, a small pair is like $12, and a really tall pair can be $20 for a pair of kids socks. But unfortunately, that's the only pair of socks still this day with Sasha and her sensory that I have been able to put on her. All the rest, the normal socks that you see that are really cute, you reach in your hand inside the socks and you feel all these tiny little strings and things that she'll catch her toe on going inside the sock, and she will cringe. I mean, it's like death has ended at that point in time. I mean, she has a complete meltdown over socks. So the only socks that we have found, unfortunately, are AFO socks or seamless socks that we can find on Amazon. So I'm always interested to hear what your sensory, huge thing is. Is there something that we didn't mention that you guys go and have for sensory that, when you have a high sensory moment that really just it sends it in the deep zone for you? So we always like to hear what you go through with your sensory and, great things and bad things. So let us know down in the comments what your sensory dislikes are, and we always love to hear them. So we will talk to you guys later, and thanks for watching. Bye.